So guys, welcome back again to the video that you guys will expect. So this is part 3 of 2025 step-by-step process how to move towards Denmark. So in that video, where did we stop? We stopped at number 19. So we stopped at number 18 actually. So if you've not seen the video, I made part 1, part 2, this is the part 3, right? If you've not seen the video, I'll put a link in my description box. You will see all playlists. Click all the playlists. You see, you then scroll through it. You see Denmark as a playlist. Click it. You see the part 1, part 2, and this is the part 3. So step 19, accept your offer. Like I said in step 2, whether it's conditional, whether it's unconditional, click and accept the offer. Right, and you have just 5 to 10 days depending on the school, depending on the course. So you have to determine if you're accepting the offer or not. If you don't accept the offer in 5 to 10 days, the admission will be base go bye bye for the next intake. So you have to accept it. The next on my list is number 20, apply for scholarship. You guys know in my part 2, I tell you to browse scholarship, to go to scholarship after checking your tuition fee and everything. After you got in your admission, is at this point that depending on the scholarship, because we have some scholarship that is automatic when you apply. We have some is after you get admission, but most scholarship that I know is always after you get your admission. So now that you've gotten your admission, you've accepted it, apply for scholarship. At least let them be able to reduce money from you, because most of you will actually get a conditional offer, and that conditional offer will be like you have to pay your tuition fee. So instead of paying all that money, just check scholarship opportunities that will give you discount. And that's why I said that my part 2, that as you're waiting for the deadline trying to apply, make sure that you check scholarship in advance, so that as your letter just come like this, you understand? So it's as if you're actually planning life in advance. And like I said in my subsequent videos, I'm going to make video about scholarship in Denmark that you can actually apply to. So apply to scholarship and all of those things. And you know that scholarship too, you've checked the requirements, the details, the deadline and everything. So the next on my list is number 21, pay your tuition fee. So depending on the school, depending on the university, you can pay semester wise, you can pay yearly, and it can actually varies from as low as 6,000 euros to 18,000 euros. Yeah, school in Denmark, they are quite expensive. So it could be semester fee, it could be this thing, so pay for it. So that's what I'm saying, that if you're able to actually get scholarship, right, imagine a tuition fee that is 6k, right, and maybe you have to pay for a semester 3k, and you're able to get scholarship of 1,000, 1,500 or something. So you have to pay your tuition fee. After you pay your tuition fee, make sure you collect the receipt. Number 22, collect receipt. I intentionally put it as a separate step because some of you can pay tuition fee and you feel like, okay, you need that tuition fee receipt only there. In fact, it's like your visa entrance letter. Collect your tuition fee receipt, keep it, print it out. The next on my list is number 23, secure accommodation. Very important. You see why I say arrange this thing into step by step. Secure accommodation. So you can actually secure accommodation in a private hostel with the school or this. But me, I would advise, if you're going for the first time, you secure accommodation with the school, because you are going for the first time. So at least the school will be able to give you a letter, right, that, oh, you're coming. And you know, the first time, the school accommodation, of course, will be cheaper. So when you not actually get that, you don't like the school accommodation, you can base. But for registration purposes, for easy visa processing, let them know that you are opting for the school accommodation. You understand? It will even make it easy when you are migrating. Where are you staying? You're staying in the school stay. And in case your school does not have a hostel, you look for accommodation. Maybe in my subsequent video, if you guys need it, you can leave it in the comment section. If you need me to get your website where you can actually get private accommodation or hostel accommodation or roommate or something like that. So after you secure accommodation, number 24, collect the receipt. You guys can notice that I put it as a separate step. That's where you don't know that you see receipt of your accommodation, receipt of your tuition fee. They're very important. Without that, you're not going anywhere. So in all these steps that I've mentioned since part 1 and part 3, how many documents now have you printed out? Number 1, your conditional or unconditional offer. Number 2, your what's it called? After your conditional offer, when you fulfill the condition, they will give you another letter. I hope you know. They will give you the unconditional offer. I hope you are aware. So now that one you go print out. So your unconditional offer, number 1. Number 2 is your what? School fees receipt, right? Number 3 is what? Accommodation, proof of accommodation or accommodation receipt, right? Then number 4 is if or not you actually get scholarship, your scholarship letter. Number 4. So number 25 is authentication of documents. So depending on the school you're applying to, depending on the course, there are some schools that they will say you have to authenticate your document first before you apply. And there are some that they will give you, it's still part of your conditional offer that this admission is valid provided that you actually authenticate your documents, right? And me, I will actually put for the letter that get me the admission first before I authenticate my document. Because if I authenticate it and you don't give me the admission code, because cost of authenticating, if you're not living in Abuja, is a lot of money. So let me know how much they spend. In my subsequent videos, I'll make videos about schools in Denmark that will actually allow you to apply before authentication of documents. I hope you understand that. So, depending if they ask you first or if they ask you last, you jump to this step or you go with that first one. So, number 25, authentication of your documents in Ministry of Education. And that one can cost like maybe like 1,000 naira, right? Legalization at Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You first go to Ministry of Education in Abuja, right, to authenticate your document, and then before you go to Ministry of Foreign Affairs to legalize your document, that was like 2,000. That Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and it does not have any stable price. Depending on those people that you met, they are your bargaining power. And if you want to wait, there's some that you can get on the spot, and there's some they would want to delay your time if you don't want to pay. So depending. And per document, I don't mean per page. I mean, like, for example, your work result is one document. Your degree certificate is one document. Your transcript is one document. So transcript and bachelor, they are not the same document. They are different documents. So they can be 50 pages or 30 pages or one, but they are one document, right? But yeah, they are one document like that. So just budget maybe like 5K to do all the processing, depending on how many documents that you have. So the next one on my list is number 27, which is called super legalization. So after you've gone to Ministry of Education in Abuja, you go to Ministry of Foreign Affairs and they've authenticated your documents, you now go to Denmark Embassy, same in Abuja. And that's why I say it's better to look for a school that allows you to do it after admission, so that at least when you are traveling to Abuja, you go not say you go do it. But in as much as they are actually agents, they actually assist with this process as well, that if you can trust with your document in case the school is asking you to do it before the admission process. So you now go to Denmark Embassy Nigeria, and this one you have to book an appointment as well. Maybe I'll make a separate video, but you have to book an appointment. That one is what, number 26. So you tell them you want to do super legalization of your document. That same document that you legalize and authenticate from Nigeria and this thing, you submit it at Denmark Embassy. And this one too, they charge per documentation, and so per document. And for this one too, you need to legalize your birth certificate, your marriage certificate. And that's why I told you that in part 1, ask yourself your relationship status, because it's very important for you in this process. So if you are going with your family or your children, you have to legalize their marriage certificate, their birth certificate. If you are going alone, you have to do authentication and legalization of your birth certificate as well. And then any other documents that the school asks you. These are the general ones that I know of. So your school can be more specific. For example, maybe you are going for master's or PhD. They can tell you to do for your CV, your work experience, or any other thing. So pay attention to whatever is in your conditional offer, your admission letter, or whatever your school is saying. You know if to add more documents or not. And in Denmark Embassy, how much is super legalization? I didn't write it there, I forgot. I'm going to attach it to the screen, right? So this video is 9 minutes. I'll see you guys in the part 4 of this video, of the next video. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye for now.